Hello and welcome to our review of Veronica Mars. I'm Paul,
I'm Dave.
and this week we are starting Season 3 with the episode Welcome Wagon. This episode originally aired October 3rd, 2006, which means we've had quite a large gap since the last episode, obviously. So, just a quick little recap of what's happened over the summer. So, number one songs in America over the summer. We had, I think at the end of last season, we had SOS by Rihanna, which
Mm,
was then followed by Ridin' by Chameleonaire, and Hips Don't Lie by Shakira, and Do I Make You Proud by Taylor Hicks, and
mm,
Promiscuous by Nelly Furtado, and London
yeah,
Bridge by Fergie.
yeah.
That's 2006 in a nutshell. Moving on to video games. We had some kind of big releases over the summer. So on May 15th, if you had a Nintendo DS, you could pick up New Super Mario Bros.
Yes. The fun, interesting things with NZ or Nintendo DS when they brought the Mario onto it.
Yes. May 23rd, I just want to bring this up because I love that this game exists. If you had a PS2 or Xbox, you could pick up Jaws Unleashed.
Okay.
Or
Though I question, it's the case of are you a person or are you actually Jaws?
you play as the shark.
No, that definitely makes it more fun.
Also on May 23rd, if you had a PSP, you could pick up Monster Hunter Freedom,
Ah, yes.
which is a Monster Hunter game, so I've never played it. Also on May
Yeah.
23rd, there's another sneaky kind of big release here. Rockstar Games presents table tennis for the Xbox 360.
Uh, uh, does not compute, supposedly?
Yes,
Like,
Rockstar Games made a table tennis game, but I believe that this was a sneaky by them because I believe this was them testing out the engine that would go on for to be used for Grand Theft Auto 4.
oh.
I think
I
uh,
suppose if there's some ways to test out a system, I suppose they could do worse things.
yes. Moving along, what other video games do we have that are like, you know? June 1st, if you had a PC, you could pick up Half Life 2 Episode 1.
Which made the people very happy because it is the Half-Lives.
That is very, very true. June 6th, if you had a PS2, you could pick up Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories.
Okay. Though I'm not sure if that was the case of just little DLC sort of thing, but again, for the time, not exactly DLC stuff that they could stick onto the game.
I think this was originally like a PSP game that got ported over
Uh,
to the console. Moving along here, what else are there for big releases? June 13th, if you had a Game Boy Advance, you could pick up Mega Man Battle Network 6.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, not too familiar with this one.
yeah, I'm not familiar with them after like 3 or 4 or whatever it was. June
Hmm.
21st, if you had a PSP, and I guess if you wanted, you could pick up Tomb Raider Legend.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's keep going here. There's not a lot of stuff that I'm super interested in. Uh,
Definitely a nostalgic blast with all the particular stuff that there's seen and on there.
yeah, there's some. August 1st, if you had a GameCube or PS2, you could pick up Super Monkey Ball Adventure.
Oh.
I always preferred the second one, personally.
Hmm.
August 28th, if you had a Nintendo DS, you could pick up Star Fox Command.
Yes. Again, on the one hand, is continuing on the story for Star Fox, but oh boy, them controls.
Yeah, that was, oh boy. August 29th, if you had an Xbox 360, you could pick up Saints Row.
Ah, yes, the start of the competition between Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row.
This might be a controversial opinion, but I like Saints Row more when it becomes wacky.
Yeah, it's usually one of the best things that it kind of had going for it. At the start, it kind of kept the same vibe as most Grand Theft Auto, and once they started to lean more within the sillier concepts within 2, they kind of realized we have a thing, and then 3 and 4 just went nuts.
Yes. September 18th, if you had a Nintendo DS, you could pick up Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team. Or if you had a Game Boy Advance, you could pick up the same game but Red Rescue Team.
Yeah, with their connectivity between each others with the thingies.
September 19th, if you had a PS2, you could pick up Okami.
Yes, the marvelousness.
And also on September 19th, if you had an Xbox 360 or PSP, you could pick up The Godfather, the game.
Which I believe was interesting with its particular thing. Again, I think it's the case of they went the concept of Grand Theft Auto styling for it, but following the concept of the Godfather movie or the television show.
No, it's based off of the movie. I don't think there was ever a Godfather TV show that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's yeah, there is definitely a it's very much based off of like a Grand Theft Auto style, except obviously it takes place in the 30s. Is I think it's the sequel that has the sequel added a really cool mechanic where like you could take over businesses and they would like pay you like bribes, but then
Yes,
like
or protection money supposedly.
yeah, exactly, but other gangs in the game could come and take those from you, so you'd have to like go back and like defend them and stuff,
Uh-huh.
which added kind of like a fun little mechanic.
Hmm.
Is there anything else important that's September 25th, if you had a Nintendo DS, you could pick up Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2 March of the Minis.
Yes. The I don't think this is specifically the re-release that came out recently on the Switch, but again, continuing on with the concept of the puzzle stylings of that game.
Yes. September 25th, if you're in North America and you had a GameCube, you could pick up a game called, I'm going to mispronounce this, Baten Kaitos Origins.
Yes. The interesting concepts they went in with going from the first game that released on the GameCube of Baiten Kaitos Eternal Ocean and the Eternal Wings and the Lost Ocean, and going with the prequel instead of continuing on with a sequel, which for the couple things that they went with was an interesting enough idea, but also the case of, oh god, the ideas they went with. Oh god. The PST is coming back!
September 28th, if you were in Japan and you had a Nintendo DS, you could pick up Pokemon Diamond and Pearl.
Yay, the slowest Pokemon ever.
And the final one before our episode, October 2nd, if you had a PS2 or Xbox, you could pick up the Family Guy video game.
Yeah.
I guess.
They've done it with The Simpsons a multitude of times, and once this kind of gained its popularity, it was bound to happen. And, oh boy.
Just a quick little go over of what movies came out over the summer. This was a pretty good summer. We had X-Men: The Last Stand, which
Yeah.
Cars, which I know some people really like. I've never seen it.
That's understandable, but also kind of the case of out of the Pixar films, it's kind of like, yeah, you're at the bottom of the list.
Superman Returns, which is a movie that I feel like people don't like as much as I think they should. Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest, which I haven't seen because it's a Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's supposedly the third in the trilogy.
Uh, Probably. That would make sense, because the first one's like 2002.
Yeah, and with the particular concept of with it kind of tied everything up well enough together, but still kind of a case. Yeah, there were some questionable things.
Oh, this is the second one, actually. I tell a lie.
Oh, okay.
Let us see what else. Oh, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Okay.
Oh, you don't remember that one, okay. Uh, oh my god, Dave, the meme movie is here.
The actual meme movie or a different meme movie?
Snakes on a Plane.
How about that one? With it's no, because it's like the
Do you not remember Snakes on a Plane?
yes, I remember Snakes on a
Okay,
Plane, but
good.
it's the case of getting yeah, with that. Suppose that makes sense, but now it's left me tremendously confused, and I supposedly have to do a week's worth of movie education to get myself back on track.
So there's a line in that movie where Samuel L. Jackson says something to the effect of, "Oh, I'm gonna get these motherfucking snakes off this motherfucking plane" or something.
Yeah,
But
that sounds about right.
but they did a TV edit of the movie, or like a bunch of different TV edits, and some of the lines that they replaced that with are incredible.
Radios then.
Also, over the summer was Jackass #2.
Yeah, yeah, because that was a series of things.
It was. And the week after this episode came out, the number one film in America, Dave. Any guesses what it could be? It is like a crime drama film that won a bunch of awards, and is a remake of a Hong Kong film.
Uh,
It's got an amazing cast in it too, and it's directed by Martin Scorsese.
oh, uh, yeah, but around that time, something's from there. Uh, yeah, nothing's immediately coming to mind. Just with most everything else was kind of mentions, like understandable. It's like now I don't even know where the heck I'm at movie wise.
It's The Departed.
Okay.
Yes. And just because I forgot to mention it previously, the number one song in America at the time of this episode airing, oh my god, it's Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake.
For some reason, I have a particular reason for actually realizing that this song was outed around this time, since randomly surfing the web and someone using it in an old animation clip for their animation, and it's like, oh god, I remember this song, and now all the things are flooding back in my head. Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let us get on to the episode. So, season 3 premiere, and oh boy. The season starts off with Veronica starting college. The first class we see her in is a criminology class, where Veronica solves the mystery given out to the class in 6 minutes, breaking the previous record by a full 10 minutes, because she basically just Googled the answer.
It wasn't counted as cheating.
No, I mean, in all fairness, the professor is like, yeah, technically you didn't cheat, that was pretty clever. Logan, who is also at Hearst, is still dating Veronica. Dick has just returned, getting into Hearst, but he is shaken up from Beaver's suicide. Vinny approaches Keith with a case, but he refuses it. Keith is tracking a bail jumper. Piz becomes Wallace's roommate, and I like Piz because he's cool. Unfortunately, Piz has lost all of his belongings, and Veronica comes in to help. Keith's bail jumper, Cormac Fitzpatrick, is found, and he gets into the car with Keith. Veronica and Mac listen to a rape victim protesting the university's policies on the issue. Soon, Dick crashes the rally. Keith tells McCormack that he helped Kendall, Charisma Carpenter, get out of town, and Cormac is being targeted by the Fitzpatricks. Veronica and Piz visit the police department, and they say there have been other victims of this scam of stealing all their stuff. Veronica learns that the Hearst Welcome Wagon is actually fake. Veronica meets Parker Lee, who annoys both Veronica and Mac because, well, in all fairness, she is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Veronica, Parker, Mac, Wallace, and Piz go to a concert. Veronica talks about Piz's problem at the concert, and three kids say they saw a white girl who was faking being fat. Dick shows up at Mac's door and tells her that Beaver never cared about her. Because, Dick's a dick.
Yeah.
Veronica finds Piz's guitar and they visit the cellar. The cellar's description matches that of other people. Veronica talks to Piz about a suspect, but he says it doesn't match the woman he saw. Keith and the bail jumper's car get stranded. Veronica signs up for the mentoring program that was offered in her criminology class, and she notices that one of the kids at the concert has a criminal record. Dick gets beaten up when he talks to another man's girlfriend, but Logan tases the attacker. Veronica finds the Welcome Wagon girl the seller's wife. Well, that's a hell of a scam. Piz asks Veronica if Logan is her boyfriend, which isn't awkward at all, because,
Yeah.
Keith and the bail jumper go to Kendall's house, and Kendall is romantically involved with Cormac. They have dinner, but Keith learns that Vinny is working for Liam Fitzpatrick. When Keith returns, it is too late. Cormac has already killed Kendall and leaves Keith for dead in the cold air night. A disheveled Dick shows up at Logan's door and cries because he's all fucked up because he's Dick. And he's a dick.
Yeah.
I just need to say that.
Yeah.
Veronica sleeps on Mac's couch one night, and the next morning they awaken to find out that Parker has been raped, her head shaved. Veronica did come in the middle of the night and when they believe the attack occurred, but she did not know because she just heard some noises and didn't turn on the lights.
And golden rule, step into a dark room and you hear noises in college. It's like, possibly the thing is happening. So don't want to see that, really.
Exactly. So, what do we think of this episode, Dave?
Well, I think the first thing is now it's a newer set for season to start off with. And on the case with it, the building was very beautiful for the college that they were at. And again, dorm setting, going for jumping with the different sorts of things. I think it's mostly just a question of depending on how the episodes will go along. If the storylines aren't going to be jumping around too much, especially not too much with this episode, but in previous seasons, the case of there were two storylines kind of going on with what Veronica was doing and what her dad was doing with picking up the prison mate and going on with things with that. But no, on whole, but just the case of, there's not going to be many happy endings I'm feeling with how this one decided to end.
No, there won't. I think it's a pretty strong start to the episode. Like you said, the college campus they're shooting at is beautiful. It has some stunning buildings and some really nice, just looks like a cool campus. We get a remix of the Dandy Warhol song, as well as a new title credit sequence.
Oh yeah, I was a little concerned with when it started up. It was kind of like, ooh, you're doing something weird with this. What are you doing? But then once it kind of got going, it's like, okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of... It's definitely going for a different vibe this season. Alrighty, well, next week we'll be discussing the episode My Big Fat Greek Rush Week. This is going to be fun. So Veronica's going to have to rush a sorority to get some inside information. And we're going to have some really interesting guest stars this episode.
Okay.
That I want to know if you pick up on who they are. But until then, I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.